WrestleMania 39 Night 1 Part A/2 might have been one of the best half-manias in history, with tear-jerking emotional crescendos like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens finally defeating the Bloodline, brought to you by TurboTax. Rey Mysterio teaching his son respect, brought to you by Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And Rhea Ripley winning the SmackDown Women's Championship, brought to you by getting Charlotte Flair's title reigns up. I'm Oli Davis, and this is my review of WWE WrestleMania, baby, woo, 39 Night 1. In about 10 minutes. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on so you know first when my Night 2 review goes up.
Support WrestleTalk!
Kevin Hart hosted the opening video to put over the dual concepts of WrestleMania and Hollywood, the home of movie stardom, which WWE celebrated with appearances from the likes of recording artist Bad Bunny, football player George Kittle, rapper Lil Uzi Vert, YouTuber KSI, and rapper and AEW star Snoop Dogg. Last year it was Cody, now WWE have stolen back the D.O.G.G. The only actual Hollywood movie star on the show was in the opening match, with John Cena wrestling Austin Theory. The action was pretty basic. Theory took most of it, which built to Cena's 5 moves of doom, a ref bump, meaning the official missed Austin tap in the STF, Theory hit the low blow, and A-Town down to win. In-ring work was always going to be a bit throwaway, but at least booked Theory a bit stronger. Cena eviscerated him in their build-up promo, saying he didn't have what it takes. And because we visually saw Theory tap out here and then cheat to win, it's confirmed he doesn't have what it takes. I know that's how WWE often books their heel characters, but I don't feel like Theory gained anything from this match. Cena did not do a good job of making him feel credible, which was the whole point of this. What the opener lacked in-ring work, the WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way went out of its way to make up for, fitting more moves in its 8 minutes than the whole first half of the night. It was Spotfest overstory, which helped amp up the crowd, including a very impressive Chaos Theory from Chad Gable on Braun Strowman, Ivar missing a top rope moonsault, and the standout spot, Ricochet hitting a springboard shooting star to the outside. Street Profits got the win. Monday Night War's own Xavier Woods did a 2K23 bit for Logan Paul vs Seth Rollins, which led into the most annoyingly impressive match of the weekend. Logan loaded up the entrance gimmicks, not just ziplining down to the ring, Shawn Michaels style, but also being accompanied by someone dressed as a bottle of his viral Prime energy drink. I thought it would be revealed as Seth, who'd hilariously attack Logan during his entrance. And if not that, maybe it's Logan's YouTube star brother, Paul. You know, Paul, to help Logan win. Full credit to WWE as they delivered a surprise beyond anyone's expectations, revealing the person in the suit to be KSI, and even better than having KSI get put through a table. Seth Rollins got a conductor for his entrance, leading the audience singing his theme, Ooh, Kingslayer. And the match was obviously incredible. Logan hit a buckshot lariat in the first few minutes like it was nothing. He did a vertical leap straight to the top rope, straight into a moonsault. That's a better version of Chris Daniels' best moonsault ever. So what do you even call that? Better moonsault ever? And the KSI reveal led to a perfectly timed spot of Seth pulling KSI onto the announcer's table just as Logan took flight. Usually those spots come off pretty awkward, as the heel clearly sees his mate is gonna accidentally hit before he leaps. Logan was already in motion, trusting Seth to do his part without looking, and that is why Logan works so well as a professional wrestler. Not the insane athleticism, although that really helps. Not his heel showmanship, which, yep, that's also another big contributing factor. Not his natural ability to sell. It's another huge part, actually. It's his timing. How he sold his hand after punching Seth before making the cover, the KSI table spot, his pedigree kickout. He has the timing of a veteran. Seth reversed a coast-to-coast with a super kick. Again, a very complicated spot to pull off, and hit the stomp to win. Yet another terrific match. Logan later told Kathy Kelly, "I currently have no job because my contract ended," implying he's done with WWE. And maybe there's something in that, because I thought this was going to set up for a match in Saudi Arabia, but having Logan lose means that doesn't really work. But when WWE announced his signing in August 2022, it was described as a multi-year deal, making expiry August 2024 at the earliest. So Logan might be kayfabing it up, and he is still due for more dates. Like the Cena match, Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus teaming against Damage Control only felt Mania worthy because of the Legends cameos. At times it felt pretty inconsequential. The faces won, further undermining whatever threat Damage Control had. The real meat here was Becky versus Bayley as a singles match, and the rest watered it down. The final 3 matches though, not counting Pat McAfee because I wish that didn't happen, were top-tier, all-time WrestleMania greats, showing Triple H's takeover blueprint of increasingly great matches, saving all the good stuff for the end, works just as well on the main roster. The trilogy began with the soap opera drama of the Battle of the Mysterios, Dom versus Rey. Dom might have ended up losing the actual match, but he sure won Best Entrance. He got a short film showing him being escorted out of his prison cell to Mania, where he turned up in the stadium in a police motorcade wearing Rey's mask and handcuffs. He looked Hannibal Lecter-level supervillain awesome, which is ridiculous because it's Dominic Mysterio. Rey's entrance was nearly just as good as Snoop Dogg drove him out in a lowrider using Eddie Guerrero's music. That's too far, Rey. That's offensive! How dare you play mind games by invoking Dom's real father? The stage was set after a 6-month build of father versus son, of a family, of a wrestling dynasty, and it's presented to you by Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I fully support sponsorships. We've all got investors' calls to pay. But do you have to have Cinnamon Toast Crunch sponsor this match? Having angry, vengeful dad Rey walk past some Cinnamon Toast Crunch gimp with a Cinnamon Toast Crunch name bar graphic and garish Cinnamon Toast Crunch colours all around the ring? Kinda hungry now, I want a Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Damn it, it worked! Aside from that, this match was everything it needed to be. Dom and Rey fought, Angie and Aaliyah Mysterio got involved from the front row, the newly named LWO brawled with Judgment Day on the outside, Michael Cole excelled on commentary, and Bad Bunny, who was on Spanish commentary, stopped Dom cheating with the chain, leading to a Rey win. I personally think there was more mileage in a Dom victory, where you could build to a hair versus mask rematch, but the result was still overwhelmingly feel-good. In the opening 5 minutes of Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, I feared the crowd had burned themselves out, which wasn't helped by the awkward heel-face dynamic of this feud. Charlotte is a heel, who's being booked as a face, and Ripley was a face, being booked as a heel. But from Charlotte's counter of a Riptide into a DDT, everyone just decided, yep, this is one of the best matches in WrestleMania history, and they fought for another incredible 18 minutes. They didn't get the main event spot, and to be honest, that's the right call. The tag feud was way hotter, a more substantially fulfilling ending, and a poetic mirror image to the Bloodline title main event booked for night 2. But Flair and Ripley wrestled so well, it made that a seriously debatable point. They wrestled with an intensity not seen on the rest of the card, with Rhea hitting release German suplexes so vicious, Charlotte flipped over to land squarely on her face, seemingly breaking her nose for the rest of the match. They went back and forth, teasing ref bumps, but Ripley eventually won clean with an avalanche riptide. Charlotte smiled in defeat, acknowledging her opponent's fight, and Pyro put over the new champion strong. This was probably match of the night, and a historic one too, with both opponents, the referee and the ring announcer, all being women for the first time ever at WrestleMania. Thank you, Stephanie, for inventing women. We could not have done this without you. And there was the toilet break just before the main event, where a surprise Pat McAfee appeared from out of nowhere to accept Miz's fake open challenge, beating him with the help of football star George Kittle. Probably didn't need to be on here. But the main event was the special ginger cherry on top of an already fantastic night. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens defeating the Usos. They wrestled for 25 drama-packed minutes, every punch and move loaded with not just a few years of Bloodline storyline context, but a quarter-century of the larger KO Zayn lore. Because this was, in many ways, a low-key dream match. I know El Generico retired, but KO and Zayn are the spiritual successors of him and Steen. This was my favourite team from late noughties Ring of Honor PWG, reuniting to wrestle the best tag team in WWE for the last few years, the Usos. It was a clash of eras, of characters, of styles, of the super kick and splash quick tag offense of WWE's Usos against the back and forth brainbusters on the apron style of Steen and Generico. And underpinning all of that was the drama of the recent months, the essence of friendship, of Jay choosing the blood of his brother over his friendship with Zayn, of that, in turn, rekindling Sami's friendship with KO, who is more akin to being a brother. It's a cognitive dissonance that Jay just could never handle. Every scream and punch thrown at Sami really a scream or punch in himself and his own confusion over being stuck in an impossible situation. So when Jay hit a haluva kick on Zayn, Sami's own finisher, It was heartbreaking. The layout of the match was superb. The 25-minute zipping bite. To be honest, I would have been happy if they went 25 minutes more. KO being taken out through a table, Sami's hot tag, Zayn's kickouts after super kick after 1D, one of the more protected moves in the company. Sami eventually won with 3 haluva kicks of his own on Jay, just like Sami's infamous match against Owens at Battleground 2016. The outcome was predictable. The storyline had more emotional angles and matches, but this was the culmination. And the cathartic relief when the bell rang was overwhelming. People in the audience cried. Owens cried. I cried. That's only because I'd just been cutting onions. This was an emotional end to a brilliant night. I'll have to sleep on it for a few days, but this might be the best WrestleMania ever. I have never done this for anything before, not a pay-per-view, not a TV episode. But WrestleMania 39 Night One is 100%. We've had a surprise April Fool's edition of Survival Series go live. Watch it now.
I wonder if Elias had it. He seems like the sort of loser that might have done.
Hello and welcome back to a special edition of Parts Fun Known Survival Series, the cheeriest wrestling show on YouTube, with our always the bridesmaid, never the bride, Pete Quinnell.
Furious. Furious!